Hi guys, good evening. Just give me like 1 minute to get started. I hope you all can see my screen. All right, guys, good evening, everybody. Good to have you all. Thank you for joining the session right on time. My name is Pratik Agrawal. I'm going to be your coach, Gen AI coach for today's boot camp. Just to show you what we are going to do today very quickly, let me just show you the application that we will try and build today in the session in less than 1 hour. So let me take it. So the name of the session is Decode Blood Reports using Gen AI and Google Sheet. So we will basically use Google Sheet, we'll use Gen AI to decode blood reports. So let me take you to the app directly without wasting any time. So look at this. So this is a Google Sheet view. You can see that on the left-hand side, I've got a column here which says blood report. And what I've done here is that I've given a blood report. If you want, I can open it and I can show you the blood report. So this is not a sample blood report that I downloaded from the internet. It doesn't belong to any particular individual because of data privacy. We can't use an individual report. However, this is a sample report, as you all can see it very nicely. Now, what we will do is that we will have Gen AI, the large language model, analyze this blood report like a doctor would and give us some kind of summary and recommendation what this person should do based on this blood report. So let's look at it, how it is working. So if I go there, this is the link that I've given over here, the the blood report link, the PDF link. And then in this summary section, in this summary cell, we expect the Gen AI to summarize the data and give us the recommendation. So the moment I click on this button here, which says Analyze Now, the moment I click on it, it runs a Google App script behind the scene, which is something that we will learn how to create and how to embed in your normal Google Sheet. And then we will see how it summarizes the data. So what is happening right now is that it is running the script behind the scene. So it takes just a few seconds because the blood report is a couple of pages long. And now it gives you the blood report summary with the recommendation like a decent enough doctor would do. I'm not saying that it replaces the doctor, but it still helps the doctors, it helps the medical professionals. And also as a consumer, it gives you a decent enough first report on your blood reports. So that is what this is doing here. So as you can see, it summarizes the data very nicely, and it also tells you, as a good, a medical professional would probably do, it tells you the meanings of each and every blood marker, right? And it also gives you a recommendation, right? Now, don't think that, we don't need the medical professionals. We do need the medical professionals, the doctors and the nurses and all the other medical professionals. It just helps them and helps you as an individual to get some quick analysis. Okay. So this is what we will try and build, guys. Okay. I hope everybody has understood the main objective of today's workshop already. Now, my name is Pratik Agarwal. As I said, if you are new to our bootcamp series, every month we run a few bootcamp series, and each bootcamp normally has two workshops, two mini workshops. Today we have a 1 hour workshop. Tomorrow again at the same time we have another workshop. One of my other colleagues would actually use Python to help you build a nutritionist chatbot. So don't miss both the workshops today as well as tomorrow, so that you are eligible to get a completion bootcamp, Gen AI bootcamp completion certificate, which is absolutely free and no cost associated with it. But you do have to attend both the workshops, guys. Okay. Now, the sponsor of today's bootcamp, today and tomorrow's bootcamp, is Ivy Professional School. And I happen to be one of the directors, one of the co-founders of Ivy Professional School. We are a leader in Gen AI and data and AI courses, and specifically data, Gen AI, data engineering, data science, data analytics, business analytics. So we have also collaborated with IIT Guwahati, NASCOM, and IBM to create the course content and to also endorse and certify the courses that we run. We're also official learning partner of some of the largest names that you can see in the world of manufacturing, in the world of tobacco, consulting, technology, and so on and so forth. And we've been in this business of data and AI upskilling and consulting since 2008. We have offices in various different cities in India, and currently we have more than 2,000 students enrolled, but Overall, we have trained more than 32,500 professionals and learners across different countries as well. So that's about us. If you're interested in any of our Gen AI courses, please do reach out to us. I'm going to give you my email address as well as the email address of our senior academic professional. I'm going to ask you guys to not annotate, and because I can also disable that feature, but let's not disrupt the flow. All right, so that's about the sponsor, guys. We about the Ivy Professional School. Do check their website out, and also we will upload the recording of today's workshop on Ivy Professional School's YouTube channel. So feel free to subscribe to it so that you get the recording of today's workshop as well. The channel is given over here, youtube.com/IvyProSchool. Feel free to subscribe to it so that you get not just today's workshop recording as well as the participant workbooks and all of that, but also you get a lot of other past historical such workshops as well. I understand that there are probably more number of people who want to join the workshop today, but we have a limit of 100, and the first 100 were allowed to attend. Rest of the folks, you'll have to either watch the workshop on YouTube because we are streaming the workshop on YouTube as well. Alrighty. So that's about the sponsor, that's about the workshop, and that's about the bootcamp. If you want to be connected with me, feel free to just Google my name, Pratik Ivy, and the first link that you will get on LinkedIn would be mine, and I'll accept the connection request with any and everybody. If you are interested to join my network of data and AI professionals, I'm connected with more than 10, 11,000 people. So feel free to reach out to me. I will accept the connection request. Now, coming back to what we are going to do today and how we are going to do today. Let me come back over here. Now, common myths about Gen AI. The first myth is that people believe that Gen AI is only ChatGPT and ChatGPT is Gen AI. Well, ChatGPT it happens to be one of the products which utilizes large language model, which comes under the umbrella of generative AI, which helps us to generate new text, new videos, new photographs, new things. It helps you to generate new things versus the traditional AI, which only analyzes the past historical information and tells you what could happen in the future. Here, with Gen AI, we generate new things. But ChatGPT is not only Gen AI, guys. Okay, Gen AI is much bigger than ChatGPT. ChatGPT happens to be one of the chat-based products which uses LLM models, specifically OpenAI's GPT models. A lot of people also feel that, if you know ChatGPT, if they know ChatGPT, and hence they know Gen AI. But this is also wrong, right? The reason why this is wrong is that ChatGPT is just a tool where you ask questions, you give prompts, and it gives you responses. While prompt engineering is one of the key skills that any new young professional must exhibit in today's time. However, ChatGPT, just knowing ChatGPT doesn't make you a Gen AI professional. Ideally, what you should be doing is, if you want to make a career in the world of Gen AI and AI in today's time, or if you want to do anything in the world of data today, then you should be able to build Gen AI tools and agents. Gen AI agents and Gen AI tools. ChatGPT could be called as a Gen AI tool, whereas an agent would be able to take an action. Say, for example, you say that whenever I sleep for 8 hours, please send me a congratulations message on my phone. So that a Gen AI agent can do, but just a Gen AI tool will not do that. Gen AI tool can answer your questions, can create images for you, can create videos as well for you, but it may not take action based on certain rules. But if you want a tool, a Gen AI tool to take an action as well, then it becomes a agent. One of the examples of an agent could be, let me show you. One of my startups is called as time2justice.ai. I might recommend you all to go and create a free profile there and explore this. This particular platform is created using Gen AI LLM for tax practitioners, for legal professionals, and for enterprises. What it does is that it actually helps all these people and an individual as well to get answers to legal and tax related questions. And you can also draft documents, you can summarize documents, you can create a reply on any tax notices. Let's assume that your landlord gives you a notice, so you can just upload the notice here and give some brief, like how you would give a brief to a lawyer, and it creates a complete reply on your behalf. And you can do a lot of things, right? So this can be called as an agent because it does take certain action by itself as well. It also has a very interesting feature called as AI background check. So you may want to just check them out, right? So that is the difference between a Gen AI tool versus a Gen AI platform. If you want to make a serious career, you should be able to know, you should know how to create these tools. I'm not asking you to create LLM. I'm asking you to be able to use already created large language models by different companies, mega companies as we call them, and utilize their LLM service to create Gen AI tools or Gen AI agents. Okay, so that is where the industry is growing, and that is where a lot of career opportunities are available for everybody. Making a career. So the next myth is making a career in Gen AI is extremely difficult. I can tell you that even if you do not know coding, believe me, you can still make a career in Gen AI. Although people who know a little bit of coding, which is not very difficult in today's time, you can make even deeper career or stronger career in the world of Gen AI. But with the help of Chat GPT kind of tools now, learning or even creating codes have become extremely easier. All right. Building Gen AI tools is expensive. It is actually not expensive, as I'm going to tell you today, that we can create a very handy tool which you can actually sell to nurses and medical professionals without spending a single penny, at least for the first few hundred or 500 licenses or so. Companies, a lot of other people feel that companies are actually not using Gen AI, it's just a hype. But believe me, it is not a hype. As per our research and as per market research as well, 63% of the companies have seen positive people, companies who have utilized Gen AI have seen positive impact, positive revenue or cost saving impact of Gen AI within 30 to 45 days of implementing Gen AI. This is a McKinsey report, which essentially is a huge achievement for a newer technology like Gen AI. Just to give you a context, when data science had become famous back in 2000s, it took them at least 3 to 5 years to get the same amount of result for a company. But now the time period to get positive result of a newer technology like Gen AI has reduced significantly. Gen AI is also not only prompt engineering, guys. You have to be able to build a tool, which is connected to LLM, which can do certain actions based on user prompts as well. So it is beyond just prompt engineering, although prompt engineering is one of the very interesting things, very important skills that a young professional like you all should exhibit, right? With that, let's go into the tool, all right? I will take some questions at the end. Don't worry. I mean, while learning the tool, if there are some questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those as well. So here, what I've done is, and this is the tutorial that I will upload on Ivy Pro School's YouTube channel as well in the description. These are the 3 steps that we are going to learn today in order to decode the blood reports with Gen AI that I showed you at the beginning. First, we will extract text from the PDF. Okay. And for this, we will use an external service called as pdf.co. It provides something called as API. API is application programming interface. It's like a window with which we can connect to an external service provider. Okay. So we'll talk about this more in detail. But we need a tool to remember, because the blood report that we're uploading is in PDF format. So we need something, some way, some method to get or extract the text inside the PDF so that we can then send that text. So that is the first step, extracting text from PDF using this. So we'll use pdf.co, which is a portal API to use to extract the PDF file stored in the Google Drive. Then once the text is extracted, then we will analyze the extracted text with GPT, the general pre-trained model from OpenAI, which is the parent company behind ChatGPT. Again, for doing so, we will again use OpenAI's API. So we'll talk about this term quite frequently, OpenAI's API service, which allows us to use their large language models, okay, for analysis. So we'll analyze that. We'll send some prompt as well to OpenAI to analyze the data. Then we will automate all these things together. So we will automate the process in Google Sheet. For that, we will write again, I've written a small bit of code, which I'm going to share with you, but I'll explain it. And most of those codes I have written, I can write codes. However, I've purposefully used ChatGPT to create those codes. And I'm going to also tell you how to create such codes using ChatGPT. So these are the three steps that we are doing, guys. Okay. PDF to text, text analysis, and automation. These are the three steps that we are doing. Just to remind everybody again, some of the folks might have attended, might have joined class slightly late. Let me show you again. What we are doing is over here in A column, we can put the blood reports that we want to decode, we want to analyze the blood report Google Drive link. So this is a blood report Google Drive link. This is the blood report that we will analyze. It's it is an arbitrary downloaded report from the internet. It doesn't belong to any particular person. It's just John Doe, which is an imaginary name. As you can see, it's a typical blood report, right? And we are using this link. We have put that link over here, and then this is where currently it is empty, the B2 cell under summary column. This is where we will get the result once I press on analyze now. So the moment I press on analyze now, what it does is that first, it extracts the text from this blood report, which is a PDF file. Then, with a prompt that I have already engineered, I have already created, it sends it to GPT, which is the LLM model behind ChatGPT using OpenAI's API service. And then it sends the response, and I'm just simply showing the response in B2 cell over here. So it shows the response. That's it. That is what it is doing, right? This response has come from my prompts as a response to the prompt that I have created. Is that making sense? Any questions, anybody? Let's take just 1 minute and see if there are questions. Yes, OpenAI is not free. Absolutely. It's no longer free. However, I'm going to give you guys my API key for now for like 2 days if you want to try. And feel free to try, no problem. But having said that, there are many free LLM API services that we explore in our GenAI course. There are quite a few of them which are free. Okay, so in Ivy Pro's GenAI course, we actually talk about those free API services as well. Now, one another question that Shubham has asked: which job role does this fit into? I mean, any role in the world of data and AI requires you to know and build at least basic GenAI tools. Yogeshwara, the difference between AI and Gen AI, we will talk about towards the end once we are done building this tool. Okay. Gemini, there are many free LLM API service providers available in the industry, guys. Absolutely. I'm going to share, Ashwini, I'm going to share the PDF document. I'm going to share the code. I'm going to share this Google Sheet as well. Absolutely. All right, Prince, congratulations for you. Analyze now button is within Google Sheet. Yes, it's just, and I'll tell you how to create this button as well. It's not rocket science at all. Raghunath's question is, what about productizing an enterprise product? Data generation is fine, like media industry and all is fine. Raghunath, absolutely, you are right. How do you productize the Gen AI tool? This is why I was showing you this particular product, which we have actually created a complete product around this idea. And if you're interested, please feel free to ping me individually, guys, on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to explain the entire process that we have used to create an enterprise grade product around GenAI. Raghunath. Arka's question is app script that I've used in Google Sheet, is it same as VBA code? I wouldn't, it's not really same, but it is similar. It's more similar to JavaScript, but yeah. All righty. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. And again, I'll take the questions towards the end. Let's look at the process that we will use in order to create this tool that we have created here. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to create a new blank sheet, right, to do this, right? So I'm going to create Google Sheets.new, which helps me to create a blank Google Sheet. Okay. Remember, I have logged in into Gmail already, right? That's how I've come over here, right? So you got to be logged in into Gmail, of course, right? So this is a typical Google Sheet, right? And let me change this name to Blood Decoder in class 5, right? By IB close 2, right? That's the name. You could give any name, doesn't matter. Now, here I'm going to write input blood report. Can it be done in Excel? Yes, it can be. However, today's workshop, I've kind of used Google Sheet. If you're interested to know about Excel, I can point you to one such workshop that I did on Excel as well, Shubham, and easily you can replicate that in Excel. But yes, you will need VBA code for that. Right? Now, input blood report here, blood report link. Let me make it slightly more descriptive, and summary. Okay. Now, summary column, I will make it slightly bigger because we are going to get more data. Now, here, let me just wrap it. It's not a necessary thing, but it'll just make it slightly more interesting. Now, here is where you can give the Google Drive link, the PDF link of the blood report that you want to analyze. Now, the blood report, I'm sure, nowadays, any pathology lab that you go to in India, at least you get the blood report in PDF format, right? Over your email or over your WhatsApp. So you can actually save it in Google Drive and, just have the link to that just have the link to that blood report ready, right? So I've got the link already with me for the blood report. So I'm going to Control C here, and I'm going to put the blood report link over here simply. Don't replace it with a name here, guys. Okay, just make sure that it remains like a link. Okay. Now, this is where I intend to get the summary. Let me make it slightly bigger, and let me get rid of what do you call them, as grid lines. I don't like them. So not a mandatory step, but I just got rid of it. And here is where I'm going to put a analyze now button. Okay. In order to create an analyze now button, I have just created a very simple, I'm just going to go to insert, and I'm going to go to drawings here. Basically, I'm inserting an icon, or maybe you can say a shape. Let me insert this shape here, make it slightly not very, very thick. Yeah. And you can change the color to whatever color you want, and double click on it to start typing on it. Analyze now, right? Make it maybe bold. That's it. Save and close. The button is ready, but it's just an image right now. Let me make it center aligned. Yeah. And Devji, don't worry. This session is getting recorded as well. This is not a very big step, and I'm going to repeat this step again. Okay, so many people are asking. Let me repeat it again quickly. Insert, drawing, and just a simple drawing. Just selected this and change the color and all, not mandatory step. Double click on it, analyze now, and make it bold. Set, save and close. And it's here. Now, of course, if you're slightly better in colors, or if you have brand guidelines with you, you can make it slightly better. So this is my, this is my initial work, right? So I've got my link ready. Remember, the code that I've written is going to actually only analyze the blood reports where the links are inserted in the A column from A2 from the second row onwards. That is the only thing that I'm going to I will share, Nisar, don't worry. I will share all the PDFs and all of it. For now, focus on the screen, guys, okay? I would rather request you all to focus on the screen. I'm going to upload the recordings as well. Alrighty. Now, I've done nothing. I've just created a blank sheet. That's it. And some with links and summary. That's it. Now the real world starts. Now, you see, we want some external linking and we want some automation to be done on Google Sheet. And that is the reason why we have to use something called as app script. Now, what is an app script and how do you go there? When you go to extensions on Google Sheet here, you will find something called as app script. Now, this what app scripts allow you to do is it allows you to add additional functionality on top of Google Sheet. Very, very similar to how we add external feature to Excel files using VBA, right? Yeah. So external file using VBA. So similarly, if you want to create you want to create automation on Google Sheet, then you must be aware of how to create app script. Now you see, guys, I'm assuming that almost everybody in the class in the workshop today knows nothing about Google Search Script. Everybody, I'm assuming that. Okay, and you have not done programming as well in your life. That is my assumption. Okay, that is the role. That is the assumption that I'm making. Right. That is the reason why we are going to go step by step. But if you know a little bit of coding, then it becomes even more interesting for you. Right. So when I go to App Script, when I click on App Script, I intend to create some automation, some external additional facility, additional feature, which Google Sheet does not come with. Now it allows me to, and of course, I'm logged in into my Gmail, of course, or my Google account for that matter. And it says that, hey, you can create your own function or own logic, you may say, to do things. All right. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete whatever was there under code.gs file over here. Now, here, I'm going to come to my tutorial that I have created already for you. And we are going to follow the tutorial, which I'm going to upload in the YouTube description, the link to this tutorial. The first step it says is set up the pdf.co for PDF extraction. That means it says, hey, go to sign up, go to pdf.co, go to pdf. Create an account, get your API key. Now, this API key is going to be important to extract. Remember, the first step is what? The first step is to be able to extract text from the PDF. So for that, we need an API service. And for an API service, we need the token. Now, what is an API service, you may ask me? Now, what happens is whenever you want your software or your app or your software tool to talk to an external service provider or external software, you need an interface, and that interface is through an API. So say, for example, my software is called as Decode Blurred Report. That is the name of my software, which we are creating in Google Sheet. And we are going to exchange some information with another software provider or a service provider called as pdf.co. What this software or this platform specializes in, it specializes in reading and extracting data from PDF files. So what we are going to do is we are going to send our PDF file, which is nothing but the blood report, send a PDF file, and we are going to receive what? Any idea, anybody? Receive the extracted text. Absolutely right. Apologies for my handwriting. I'm writing on the screen. Extracted text. So it does that heavy work. While Google Sheet does have an internal, Google Apps Script does have an internal PDF extractor function available, but that is not a very good function. And hence we are using a professional PDF extractor API service. Now, there are many options available for extracting data from PDF API service. There is one from Google Vision as well. There are many from Adobe also. There are many such PDF extractor tool available in the industry, but I have decided to use this one because this is free for the first 1,000 calls, and also it's very easy to use, right? So we do all this exchange of information through something called as application programming interface, which is like a window which allows you to connect a software with another software. All right. Okay. So let's see how we can get our API key, right? API key. It's like a, when suppose you have a window in your home and you want to open that window, so you need a key to open. Let's say there is a lock. You need a key to open that window so that you can talk to people from outside your house, right? So here we need this API key, which is going to be an individual API key for my software, which so that this service provider can charge or can track the uses, just like your electricity service provider tracks the uses based on units. So they may also have some kind of unit that they may want to track using a private API key, a secret API key that they are going to give to you. Alrighty, how do we get that from pdf.co? So when I go to pdf.co, so just Google, let's say pdf.co, right? It will open the portal. And here it says get started for free. Absolutely great. And it will ask you to log in. I have logged in with my Gmail account already. And then what it says is that you got these many credits remaining. As I said, uses. And this is my API key. I click on copy key. I have copied this key. Then what I'm going to do is this key, for now, I will keep it somewhere. Let's keep it in a let's keep it over here. This is my pdf.co API key to extract the text from the PDF. This is my key. All right, all the way from here to here. All right, I'll keep it right over here. Then, so that step is done. Let's go back to the Word document where we have the other steps. So this is the first thing. And now it says integrate the pdf.co in Google Sheet, use the provided API key for text extraction. I have done that. And then it says, hey, let's create this PDF function, extract text from PDF using pdf.co. Now, instead of me writing this function again, but where did we get this function from? I will actually tell you at the end of the class how I use ChatGPT to create this function for me, right? If you notice this function carefully, what it is saying is that this here, this is my API key. So I will show you where you will have to upload or update that API key which we just got from pdf.co in the portal. How and where? Let me go back over here. Let me go to the code. There's a code control A, control C I've done. I'm going to share this code and I'm going to put it over here. If you notice at the beginning, and I'm going to zoom or in Google, this thing, it doesn't zoom. Okay, that's now if you notice here, this is the function extract text PDF using pdf.co. This is the function that I got ChatGPT to write for me, right? Right now it says, hey, this URL is empty. Why? If there is no URL, then it will give you an error saying PDF URL is empty. This is just error handling. Where field is good pdf.url, pdf.match, extract the file ID. Now here what is happening is this function will be called with the URL. Which URL? This URL. This URL will be transferred to this function, and I'll tell you how this function will be called upon. So this URL will be transferred to this function, and then once, if there is no URL transferred, then it will give you an empty, or this will give you an error. And if there is a and then this will find the file ID from Google Drive link. And once, if the file ID is not valid, that means if it is not a valid file ID, which you get from Google Drive link, then it'll give you an error. And once you have that, then drive file ID, you are getting the file ID here. And then you are getting something called as the object, the binary level object of this file, which is the text of this file. I mean, the content of this file, you may say. And then this is where the API key needs to be updated. So where it says API key, just go there and paste the API key. Which API key are we going to paste over here? The API key that we got from pdf.co. So this is my API key. I have selected this API key. And what I have done here is that I have pasted it over here under pair or double quotes. Remember to give the pair or double quotes. Don't. So when you get your own API key, remember to update the API key over here. Once you have that, if you do not want to go into too many details, this is the API key extraction function that ChatGPT has written. Basically, what it is doing is that it is fetching the data from the PDF, and then it is parsing the data, uh, parsing the data. And then once it is parsed, then what it is doing is that if there is any parsing error, then it will return null. If there is no parsing error, then it is going to return the body of the text extracted from the PDF, right? This is what this is returning. This entire function from here, which is called as extract text from PDF using PDF4. This is going to return ultimately the body of the PDF that is uploaded. And for that, we are using the API key. That means we are sending the data, sending the PDF file from the link that we got over here and into pdf.co, and then it is going to return. Now you must be wondering, how are we calling or how are we utilizing this function? I have scrolled all the way down. I have scrolled all the way down here and it says, hey, this is the function to get the PDF URL from the sheet and perform the analysis that is required. This is the main function, guys. Okay, it says analyze PDF in sheet. What are we doing in this? In this, guys, what we are doing is from the spreadsheet, that means from the Google Sheet, from this Google Sheet, from the spreadsheet, get the active sheet. It takes the active sheet and then it gets the last row. Last row, that means because if there is another report that I upload in A3 or A4, A5, A6, it will by default go and analyze the last most, the late, the last in the A column. So this is what this is doing. And then the last row here, once it gets the URL of the last row, then it sends the URL to this function. If you notice here, PDF URL is going to is sheet.get range get value. What this function is doing is that it is giving the URL and storing it in this variable called as PDF URL. If this PDF URL is being sent to this function called as extract text from PDF using PDF4. Where was this function? Where did we see this function? We just saw this function right over here. So this is the function that it is being called. Now, just like in Excel, what we do is equals to sum, and then we send some numbers to that sum function, and it does the addition for you and return something. So here, what we are doing is extract text PDF using PDF4 function is receiving the URL sent by the main automation function, which is written at the end, which is over here. It says please send this PDF URL. And where did we get this PDF URL? From the sheet that we just created. So this is the PDF URL, right? This is what we are storing in this variable called as PDF URL. And then we are sending it to this function. For this function to do what? This function will now extract the content, the text from this URL, which is the PDF, and then save it in this variable. And once this is done, then we will use this extracted text to analyze using GPT. This is where we are calling the large language model. This is where we are calling the GPT. This is the main brain, guys, okay? To extract, and we are sending the extracted text into this analyze GPT function. And once that analysis is done, that means once the prompt's response has been received from the LLM, which is the main brain, then we store that in the analysis variable, and then we are writing that result, right? The result in column B. That means we are writing this result using this method that we have written here over here. That's it. So if you look at the last function, which is the most important function, the automation function to get the PDF URL, this is called as analyze PDF in sheet. First, it gets the active PDF. It goes to the last row in the A column, gets the URL and save that URL in PDF URL, and then sends that PDF URL to this function called as extract text PDF using PDF co. And that extract text using PDF co function that we just saw up at the beginning extracts the text using the PDF co API service, and that extracted text is being saved in this variable called as extracted text. And then we are sending that extracted text variable into another function called as analyze with GPT function. And that is where we are using the OpenAI's GPT model using OpenAI's API. And we also have a prompt running there, and it sends back the response, just like ChatGPT sends the response. The only difference is that we are saving that response into a variable called as analysis, and then we are displaying that analysis variable data in the B2 cell over here. Now, you must be wondering, we have not seen one very important function. Which is that function that we have not seen, guys, yet? We have seen what was happening in extract text PDF using PDF co. But which function have we not seen yet? The actual analysis function, which is analyzed with chat GPT function. So let's see where it is. Let's go up, let's scroll up, let's scroll up. Here you will see, this is the function which is starting from line number 45 here. This is analyzed with chat GPT, guys, okay? Analyze with chat GPT. Ashwini, you're right, button also we have not integrated yet. Okay. You must be using Excel there, Zibran. Already here, API key. Now here again, there is an API key, right? So we'll talk about, how do we get this API key? For now, I'm going to share this API key. This is where OpenAI has taken away the free APIs that they used to provide earlier. So that is the reason why I'm going to give to you the free API for this, right? Now, this is where what we are doing is, again, we have created the API, and I'm going to tell you the steps to create the API key from OpenAI. But of course, here you have to pay $5 to create that API. But $5 is a great investment, believe me, to learn and try and build Gen AI tools by yourself. And it will last you good at least 3 to 6 months, believe me, unless you start abusing it. Right. Now here, this is the API key. This is my URL through which we send this API into OpenAI. Again, this we have created using GPT. Now, don't worry about this much. This is where the API key is getting integrated. So this is authorization bearer API key. This is where this API key is getting integrated. Now, this is where I've chosen the model. The LLM model, the large language model that I've chosen, which is provided by OpenAI, is GPT-4o-mini. This is the cheapest model that is currently offered, one of the cheapest model, and yet very powerful model offered by OpenAI, guys. Okay. Now, guys, I know I'm using a few terms like LLM, I'm using terms like OpenAI, I'm using terms like model. Now, if you are very, very new to these terms, I'm going to upload one more video, guys, where I talk about these basic terms in another such similar workshop that I had done. You may want to refresh those concepts of what is LLM, what is Gen AI, what is the meaning of a model, and what are the different models available, and so forth. Even if you believe it, but even if you do not know such terms, you can easily go to ChatGPT and ask such terms and give you a very good description of those terms as well. Now, the model that I've chosen. So this is one more tip insight that I will tell you. Don't use the GPT-4 model. It is expensive. Use the GPT-4o or use even cheaper model, yet very powerful GPT-4o-mini model. This is currently the cheapest. I think you pay around 30 cent for 1 million token. 1 million token is roughly 800,000, 8 lakh words. Okay. Typically, for every 1,000 tokens, you end up utilizing approximately 700 to 800 words, or 700 to 800 words of text roughly means 1,000 tokens, right? The 1,000 token is the unit by which OpenAI or any of the large language model providers charge basis the users. Okay. Now here, model is 4o mini and system prompt. Now look at the system prompt I'm going to give to you. The system prompt is something that we are telling OpenAI large language model, how should you behave, right? Are you a teacher? Are you an astrologer? Are you a medical professional? Who are you? So here I have mentioned that you are a highly knowledgeable medical assistant specializing in test reports, provide clear, and then I have also given some context, provide clear, concise, and medically sound interpretation of results, highlight abnormalities and their potential implications on the health. And so this is the system background. It's like you're telling the system how should you behave. And role user. Now, this is again one more prompt that I've given here, which is the prompt that I'm sending as a user. So when we type anything on ChatGPT as a prompt, and so that is called as a user prompt, right? When we ask it to, hey, can you summarize this email for me, or can you create a LinkedIn post for me? So those are called as user prompt, right? So here we say, please analyze the following blood test report, identify any abnormalities, explain their potential implications, suggest follow-up action or lifestyle and necessary things in less than 200 words. The reason why I have tried to restrict it to 200 words, because I don't want to superly use my tokens, right? So I've restricted the maximum tokens to 350, right? Which roughly means around 250 or so words, right? So just to be on the safer side, I've said that less than 200 words, right? And temperature. Oh, by the way, guys, by the way, a lot of people ask me this question. Is it mandatory to get a system prompt? No, it is not mandatory to give a system prompt, but it is mandatory to give a user prompt. But if you do give a system prompt, the response that you get is of higher quality. So that comes under prompt engineering. When we train people on Gen AI course, then we actually train them very deeply on prompt engineering as well, guys. Okay. But even if you do not want to attend, let's say, our course, there are great prompt engineering tips and videos available on IB's YouTube channel as well. If you want, I can give you those links as well, and I'll upload those links. I have only recorded some great prompt engineering techniques. Okay. But yeah, as I said, it's a great thing to do that, you give a system prompt as well so that the behavior is set. Okay. But user prompt is mandatory, guys. This is the main task. Already. And this this backward slash n basically means give the response in different lines. Okay. Maximum tokens 350. And what is the meaning of this temperature? Now, the temperature can vary between 0 and 2, 0 and 1, depending on the model that you work with. The closer it is to 0, the lesser randomness, the lesser uniqueness you will get in the response from the large language model. 0.5, so here's the thing, if you make it 0, yes, you will get very factual answer, but the creativity would not be there. That recommendation that a good doctor may give you might be slightly missing. That human touch, that creative angle to the response that you get from LLM might miss slightly. But if you give it to, let's say, 1 or 1.5 or even more than that, closer to 2, then it will start to hallucinate, meaning maybe it'll become like a poet and start singing will give you a poem on your blood report analysis. Okay. And plus, it may not be so factual. So that is the reason why when we work with very factual kind of information like blood reports or financial data, we try to be closer to 0. So 0 0.2, 0 0.3, 0.2 to 0.5. I like to actually be slightly closer to 0 0.3 in such factual information to be more precise, you may say, with my answer at the cost of being very creative. Okay. So, but we have kept it for in today's workshop, we have kept it to 0.5 already. Now, for these things, you can easily understand from GPT. However, the basic thing that you need to understand is what is the result that this function is going to return back. So the result that this function is going to return back is the response that it gets based on the prompt that we have given here and based on the extracted text, right? Remember, the text that we are sending over here, it is sending that text to the to OpenAI, right? And this is what we are going to get as a response. All right. So is this temperature value similar to factor of safety for GPT response accuracy? You may say so, Krishnendu. Yes. Factor of safety, more than that, because factor of safety can also come from human feedback, which is called as RLHF. But yeah, you may say that to reduce and have more precision in the response, we said this. By the way, did you notice that we had done here plus text? Now, what is this text here, guys? Any idea? Anybody? What is this text? What is the meaning of this text here? The text is the extracted data from the PDF. Remember, when we call this function here, analyze with GPT, we send the extracted text which we got from the earlier function that we had used, right? So this is the text. So what we are doing with this plus text is we are saying that please analyze the following blood test report, identify any normal this, colon, and then we are sending the text that we got from the blood report. This is where we are actually sending the blood report, guys. Is that making sense, right? Very good. Thank you for responses, guys. And once it gets the response back, it gets saved in this payload, and you will end up saving this in the result. And then we are sending the result back as a return from this function analyzed with chat GPT with GPT into where this will be saved in analysis here, right? And this is what we are showing back over here, guys, right? So anyway, this is the text that this is the code that we have put over here. Again, almost 100% of the code was created from GPT, from ChatGPT. Now I'm going to click on save here, guys, okay? You can give a name to this project if you want. Let's call it as Decode blood reports. That's not a mandatory step. It's a good step. And then do not forget to click on save. Do not forget to click on save. Now, once it is saved, remember the most important function for us is analyze PDF and sheet. Now, if you want, you can run it from here, but instead of running it from here, even if I run it from here, so let's run it from here, right? So what it is doing is that it is the first time it is running, then it'll ask for the permission for running this script. It requires permission. So go ahead and give the permission by clicking on your account here. And of course, we are giving permission to do a few things to this app. Once you give the permission, then it starts the execution. It takes a few seconds depending upon how big the extracted data is from the PDF, blood report PDF file that we are uploading. And once it sends that, then you will get the response back where? So it says execution completed. We don't see any response here. Where will we see the response? We will see the response under B2 column over here. Alrighty. Now, if you notice, this is the complete response. Now, it is slightly hallucinating that consult with Dr. Emma Clark, right? For personalized advice and for additional testing if necessary. Must have picked it up from the blood report itself. But it gives you the follow-up actions and all of it. But here, one thing that you might have noticed, guys, which step is missing, guys? Which step is still missing? What do you guys think? Which step is still missing? That we have not discussed yet. Anybody? The step that we are missing is the button. We have not utilized this button that we created, right? So now the question is, instead of me going to the app script each time, and then instead of selecting the right automation function, which in our case is analyze PDF and sheet, and then clicking on run, which sounds very coding driven, right? How do we make it automated? That means how do we make it based on a user clicking on this analyze now button or the shape that we created? It's very easy. Any button, any shape that you create, like the way we had created the shape where by going to insert and drawing and all of that, you will, the moment you select it by left clicking on it, you will see the three dots next to it. Click on the three dots and then click on this option which says assign a script. Very, very handy. Google Sheet has done a very good job. Google has done a very good job with this. It has made the life much easier. And then here, what you need to do is where it says assign a script, what you need to do is give the most important meaning, the the last function, which is the automation function, analyze with PDF, analyze PDF in sheet. This name, just copy this. You don't have to copy the square bracket. You don't have to copy the parenthesis. Just copy the name of this function as it is, without any space, without any brackets here, guys, and then go back here, right? And click on Control V, paste it, and that's it. Yes, Keval. I will share the script as well with everybody. Now, see earlier when we had left clicked on Analyze Now button here, it had allowed me to go to the three dots and do the edit and all of that. But now if I left click over here, it will actually start running the script. Now this is more like a end user game, right? You can actually give this sheet, right, to any end user. You can give it to your dad, you can give it to your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever you want to give it, or any doctor that you have. If you want to impress that person that, hey, you know what, let me help you, right? By creating a Gen AI tool, you can easily do it. And it could be a small but a good addition, value addition to your data and AI resume as well, that you can build a small Gen AI tool. Right. No RAG. This is not a RAG. Well, it is kind of a RAG or retrieval augmented process, because we are actually retrieving the data from the blood report and using that data only to give the answer, right? The workshop is still 7 p.m., guys, as you said, but I'll just take a few extra minutes, guys, to finish off the workshop, right? So this is it, guys, okay? Just to quickly summarize, guys, the steps that we have taken. Yes, $5 is the minimum, guys, to create the OpenAI. Now, let me quickly show you how to create OpenAI API as well. So you go to Google and search OpenAI API, and then you will get the first link which says platform.openai.com. You go there, and Sachin, the question is how much money that you will end up spending with OpenAI. As I said, rough cost of using a OpenAI GPT-4o mini model for text analysis currently is 30 cent for a million token, 10 lakh tokens. So now, depending upon how much of text you're using, and as I said, the approximate ratio of text to token is what? Approximately for 1,000 tokens, or approximately for 800 words, 700 to 800 words, it ends up taking approximately 1,000 tokens. Now you can do the maths, but believe me, you will not end up, unless you are creating like a very massively used Gen AI tool, and unless you are actually analyzing entire Bible or Quran or Gita or something like that, you will not end up using that many tokens very quickly, guys. You can actually integrate voice assistant. We have done it in our platform. If you go here, you will see that we have a mic option as well. You can integrate, mic as well to such services. For example, here, I can talk to it and I can say, can you analyze, sorry, let me, I can actually talk to it. Can you give me the specific IPC for kidnapping in India? So it does it. Very nice, right? And then you can just press enter, and then it takes it to the LLM and gives you the answer, and very nicely answer. Okay. Now, of course, this is a complete enterprise-like product that we have built, my team has built for enterprises. But yeah. Now, just to answer that Arco's question, can we integrate voice or not? Yes, you can. It requires something called as OpenAI's Assistant API. Quickly showing you the steps to create the API. So you go to platform.open.ai and you can create an account for free. But after creating the account, if you want to create API, then you have to go to API reference here. And then, okay, not API reference. You go to dashboard, and under dashboard, you can find API keys, and you can click on create new API. Now here, when you're trying to create the new API, it'll ask you to plus first recharge your account with $5. Earlier, it used to give $5 as free trial, which was good enough. In order to recharge, I'll show you, go to settings here, go to billing here. And for example, here I've got some credit balance that I've uploaded already, and go to payment method, set up the payment method. And after that, add to credit balance. That's it. And believe me, guys, I would recommend you strongly. $5 is really nothing if you want to learn something new and experiment hands-on. Just pay $5, get some credit. It'll be good enough for you to utilize it for a few months. I can tell you very easily, and you will end up adding a lot of value to your resume. We always recommend that to do. Okay, you can keep your auto recharge off and just add credit balance of $5. It's a good way to learn it. So that is one step that I had not explained. Just to summarize the steps again, guys. Okay, I'm going to go to this Word document here. What are the steps that we have done? We have actually done just 3 steps. Extracted the text from PDF using pdf.code API service. We analyzed the extracted text with GPT, OpenAI's large language model using OpenAI's API. Then we automated the process in Google Sheet using 3 functions, right? We extracted the PDF URL, then we extracted the text from the PDF using by calling this first function. Then we send that extracted text and analyze that with our user prompt with using another function which was called as analyze text with GPT, right? So these are the 3 functions. That's it in Google App Script that we wrote, right? PDF to text, text analysis, and automation. That's about it. Specific steps, I put it into this tutorial, guys, and I'm going to upload the link to this tutorial in the in YouTube, in IB Professional Schools YouTube channel under this video that is going to get recorded and uploaded over there, and you can download. Now, what are the things that you will be able to download? You will be able to download a sample blood report. You will be able to download the code that I have uploaded over here. You'll also be able to download the steps, the Word file that I'm showing you over here, right? And as a bonus, I'm going to give you for 2 days the API key for you to use. Now, I'm willing to take a few questions, guys, for the next 5 minutes, but I would not mind if you want to drop down. 2 reminders again, guys. Same time, tomorrow at 6 p.m., you will learn how to build a chatbot using Python for doctors or for nutritionists. So it's going to be a great thing. And plus, if you attend tomorrow's workshop as well, then you do get a GenAI bootcamp completion certificate as well, which could be a great value addition to your resume. Also, if you want to be connected with me and get answers to any of your AI, GenAI related question, please Google my name, Pratik Ivy. The first link you will find on LinkedIn would be mine. I'll be happy to connect with you all. Everybody, whoever is here, if you're not already connected with me, feel free to get connected with me, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions one-to-one. Anything related to AI and OpenAI, guys. I've spent around 20 years in the data industry. So, although I'm a new buy to many things, but this is one of my professional requirement to keep doing research, keep building platforms, keep building tools. And since I have built 3 different GenAI products which are being used by monetized products which are being used by enterprises, I'll be more than happy to share my knowledge, whatever little knowledge that I have, guys. Now, let's open the forum for questions, guys. So if you have any questions, I will take the question for the next 3 to 5 minutes. But if I don't mind if you want to drop down and join tomorrow at the same time. Thank you, everybody. Can you dynamically upload the PDF doc in this app? All right. Yes, you can. Dynamically, maybe you want to bring it out from somewhere like a Google Drive or something. Is that what you mean by dynamic upload, Ashwini? But yeah, you can. You can actually. All right. One more question somebody had asked me. At which step text values are compared with reference values and inferences can be drawn? Suparna, the text values. Remember, in the PDF, in the blood report that we uploaded, the normal ranges were given. However, since we are using the large language model brain, right, which has the knowledge of a variety of things, and especially we are using a very nicely trained LLM model, which is OpenAI O40 Mini, which is quite knowledgeable for these kind of tasks, okay? So it doesn't actually even need to know the normal range for most of the common blood tests. How to create the code, right? how to create the code. Let's say, I mean, I'm assuming that you know almost nothing about coding at all. So you go to ChatGPT. The first thing that nowadays, when you don't know anything, you do, you go to ChatGPT and you ask that I want to create a PDF analyzer on Google Sheet, which should use external APIs for extracting the text from the PDF and should use OpenAI GPT API to summarize the data. Start with this, guys. This is how you start. And then you can drill it down, right? And it will end up doing a decent enough job for you to. It will, of course, not create, I mean, it will not do it for you, but it will give you the steps and the code to do it very easily. It gives you the code as well. You can copy the code, you can start working on it. Now, a few things, guys, okay? As I said in the workshop today, right? In order to go to the coding part of Google Sheet, you need to go to extensions, you need to go to app script. And under the app script, go to the code.js, the first thing that you see over here, remove anything that was there originally and paste it over here, right? Paste the code that GPT has given. But remember to understand what is happening in the code. That much you must do, guys, because a lot of times you'll get errors and you will not be able to understand what's going on. And if you want to customize it, because this is a cheat sheet. I mean, this is like a cheating. But of course, you want to build on this, right? You want to do more than what GPT is giving you. For that, you must start understanding what is happening in the code. I'm not saying that you need to write the code, guys, but you must understand and read the code, especially with these comments, it becomes much easier to read. Is this API recommended for medicines to users? Which programming language is now in the field of Python is the most important language for anybody to know. SQL still is very, very relevant, guys. And, these are the two entry points for everybody that we recommend strongly, Divya. Yes, you can actually identify diseases also. Why not? If you have the complete blood work with you, why not? You can. I'm not I'm not a medical practitioner to validate the accuracy of those analysis, but I can tell you based on my experience of utilizing a good enough GPT 4.0 mini kind of models, it does give a decently accurate report. Yes, how to recommend medicines. You just have to change the prompt here. In my prompt, I have not mentioned that please recommend medicines. But if I say, please analyze the blood report as to identify any abnormal results, explain the potential implications, such as follow-up action. Now here, if I say, suggest or prescribe medicines or lifestyle changes if necessary. Now let's say I just make a small change. Let's try and see how does it impact the result. I click on analyze now with the same blood report that I had given over here. Yes, anybody who's asking for code, for PDF file, I am going to upload all of that. Okay, so no medications are necessary at this time because probably in this blood report, it wasn't required. Try with some other blood report, guys. Okay, I'm going to upload this code, the entire tutorial that I showed you. I've created the entire tutorial as well on IB Pro School's YouTube channel. Do try it after the workshop. Once, follow the recording and try this and then play around with the prompt, guys, play around with the prompt. Absolutely. Will the analysis be same every time? Remember, the temperature setting, Ashwini, is 0.5. So it's going to be close to similar every time, not exactly verbatim same. Can we change the code for the button? Yes. For example, let's say if you want to change the code, right click on it. Once you have established the code, right click on it. Then you will see the three dots. After assigning the code the first time, right click on it. Then you will be able to audit it. Or you can assign a new script altogether. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for attending today's workshop, guys. Okay. I am I'm excited to see you again, guys, tomorrow. And I'm also excited to connect with you guys over LinkedIn. Do two things, guys. Do subscribe to IB Pro School's YouTube channel and click on that, hit on that bell to get notification for such workshops as well as recording of similar such Gen AI and data workshops done by industries experts in the past as well, guys. Okay. Thank you for attending today's workshop, guys. And I do look forward to connecting with you guys tomorrow again at 6 p.m. IST Indian Standard Time, guys. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.